We have SpiceJet, which has come out with its numbers. It looks like a good set on the top line front, because we have seen the revenues, the consolidated revenues come in at 2,029 crore rupees. So that's a significant 400 crore rupee jump from the corresponding quarter of about 625 crore rupees. What is disappointing is the EBITDA margins. Unsurprising, however, given the fact that crude prices definitely in Q4 have on an average been higher than what we witnessed in the corresponding quarter. 18.3% is where they've come in at versus 20%. However, the other key parameter that we do track for aviation companies is the load factor, which, by the way, for SpiceJet is at 95.4% at a record high. So apart from margins, it looks like the rest of the numbers look pretty good. Even the net profits, despite the compression in the margins, have managed to come in a bit higher, though not substantially higher, but yeah, at 40.5 crore rupees. So no complaints over there either. A good set of numbers, like I said, from SpiceJet. Stock reaction, sharp spike up seen over there, and it's currently perched at the day's high, 4.3% higher. There's another internal number coming in over there, and they're talking about the 13th successive profitable quarter for the airline. I suppose this would obviously, Siddharth, come in since crude prices have been falling. I think that's the only thing that has been actually working for a lot of these aviation companies, because they had been struggling when crude prices were at $100 per barrel. Of course, I guess so OBS consumers.
Right,
you know?
But in fact, it would be now interesting, Mubina, to see that with rising crude oil prices, how this margin, which has seemed to be under pressure, because despite crude oil price being on the lower side, we are seeing that margins at 18.3 versus 20%, clearly suggesting that there are some other cost pressures. And also it seems that, if you look at the revenue, is substantial higher compared to the difference which we are seeing in EBITDA. So maybe there is, a scope of probably, some other income which might have, crept in. Let's, understand more about these numbers. My colleague Pranay is now joining us to throw more detail on it. We'll get to Pranay in some time, but we have seen, Mubina, that stocks like Indigo, Jet Airways, they have done, not so very well in last 1 month or so, and especially Jet Airways, despite crude oil prices being supportive in previous quarter. It has not translated into stock prices doing well.
Yeah, that of course could be the case. But yeah, since the last couple of months, we've anyway seen aviation actually been a bit of a bummer. It had rallied quite a bit, of course, in 2016 oddish, but then yeah, subsequently it lost a bit of steam. But yeah, that's SpiceJet for you. Like I said, it may have got a bit hit when it comes to the margins, but otherwise I think the top line growth certainly would be very commendable. And not only that, we know for a fact that the aviation traffic numbers have been increasing. We have seen that coming in on a month-on-month basis, where the aviation numbers have been pretty strong. So I guess that as well has had a rub-off effect. But yeah, mind you, there were other problems which were plaguing companies like Indigo when it comes to their Pratt & Whitney engines, etc. There is a possibility also that perhaps there must have been some consumer shifting that may have taken place, or other customer shifting that may have taken place, that may have as well aided the stock of SpiceJet quite a bit, in their Q4 numbers. Maybe that is one of the reasons as well that we are seeing the revenue rise up significantly. I'm just trying to as well access the press release at this point of time.
In fact, we have a quote from CMD of company Ajay Singh, who's stating, and I read that, with the fuel efficient B737 MAX joining our fleet in the coming months, we will continue to expand at home and abroad and strive to improve profitability and operating performance. That's what Ajay Singh, CMD of SpiceJet, has been stating. Let's bring in Pranay to discuss more about this. Pranay, top line seems to be quite healthy, but bottom line has not been as good comparable to top line. Is there some other income angle?
Well, the angle is the same. Actually, we saw the same for Interglobe as well over here. The reason why the top line growth of 25% is strong because of load factor and passenger traffic. It was strong across industry, something that we saw for Interglobe as well. The reason why it couldn't manifest into the bottom line was because in Q4 you generally have higher lease rentals, which is why even on a QOQ basis, you will see that despite flattish top line, there is a stark difference in the bottom line. So though there is a 11% growth on bottom line year on year, quarter on quarter it's actually a drop because of the reason that I said, that in Q4 you generally have renewal of all these aircraft lease rentals, and as it is, like you heard the management say in their commentary in the press release, they have added some aircraft to the fleet, and wide-bodied B37 MAX are now going to come in So while the focus remains on Udan and the domestic travel, they are now going to shift it towards overseas.
Pranay, thanks for that. That's SpiceJet for you. The stock almost whiplashing today on an intraday basis. We'll do one thing. We'll take a very short break right here on the show, but don't go anywhere. News and updates continue.